Harris's flip-flopping and word salads have gotten so bad that even CNN is now starting to call it out. I'm Vince for Resist the Mainstream. If you enjoy our content, be sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe. Why should you subscribe? Because that way we can keep bringing you videos like this. And that said, take a listen here to Dana Bash as even she starts to call out Kamala Harris for repeating herself and saying nonsense over and over again. And keep in mind, Dana Bash, not exactly the biggest Trump supporter here, is she?
When you listen to Kamala Harris and what she will do, you can almost start a drinking game every time she says small businesses. Let me give you an example.
Part of my plan under my economic opportunity plan going forward is that right now, startup entrepreneurs, small businesses only get a tax deduction of $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000. So I'm expanding that to $50,000. Understanding, again, that when people have the opportunity to have the resources to get started, they're going to put the good ideas, they're going to put the hard work into it.
Describe the politics of that.
She says that. She also talks about being a middle-class kid. That's also at the front of her answers. If you look at the interviews they've been doing with local media, and they've opened up a bit more since the debate, the first question is often, what are you going to do to lower prices? Which is a very hard question for an incumbent party to answer. And it has implications that are very Trumpian. It is, Trump says he's going to do mass deportation. That'll decrease demand. Trump says he'll explore more energy. That'll decrease energy costs. Democrats can point to the fact that inflation is actually, it was bad 2 years ago. It's not now. What people want to hear is, how do you make the prices go down? So everything she says is something realistic that could survive a fact check that answers a very hard question. There is not a plan to say that we're going to lower the—
Okay, well, there's the admission right there. There is not a plan. Okay, Kamala Harris really does not have a plan, but at least she was a middle-class kid. Okay. Got it. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. Very useful. Very insightful, right?
Cost of your grocery bill to what it was in 2019. There was a pandemic. There was a money supply inflation. You can't hit the button that makes that go away. But Trump has an answer that gets him through these questions. And Harris, I think, with a different set of incentives and a different relationship to something she can back up in a policy paper, she doesn't have an answer. So she goes to a larger, well, imagine a future where there are more businesses and this starts to ameliorate.
So again, what you're saying here is that she's saying nothing. And even Dana Bash is mocking her, right? You could almost start a drinking game, which we know Kamala Harris allegedly is very fond of, but you could almost start a drinking game every time she spits out the word salad. Folks, before we continue this video, a word from today's sponsors over at Goldco. With an election year upon us, the economy is more unpredictable than ever, and markets, as you may know, can swing dramatically, and political changes can impact your savings overnight. And that's why it is now the perfect time to team up with Goldco. Gold and silver can serve as reliable stores of value, offering protection against economic uncertainty, inflation, and the unpredictable shifts that can come in an election year. Goldco makes it easy to diversify your retirement with gold and silver IRAs, providing a secure shield for your future, even as other investments can fluctuate. And right now, if you roll over your 401k or IRA tax and penalty free, you can get up to $10,000 in free silver when you open an account. And who doesn't want to do that? So don't wait. Take control of your financial future and learn more at rtmgold.com. Again, that is rtmgold.com. Thanks to Goldco for sponsoring the channel. All right, now, if you've been remotely curious whether Kamala Harris has improved on this at all, is she doing any better of a job at speaking and kind of talking about things? Well, take a listen to this. You'll be a little disappointed. Spoiler alert.
What is on your heart to say to the American people as we have 47 days until November 5th? What's on your heart? To say to particularly those people who are still undecided or maybe indifferent or on the fence still?
We love our country. I love our country. I know we all do. That's why everybody's here right now. We love our country. We take pride in the privilege of being American. And this is a moment where we can and must come together as Americans understanding we have so much more in common than what separates us.
Okay.
Let's come together with the character that we are so proud of about who we are, which is we are an optimistic people. We are an optimistic people. Americans, by character, are people who have dreams and ambitions and aspirations. We believe in what is possible. We believe in what can be. And we believe in fighting for that. That's how we came into being. Because the people before us understood that one of the greatest expressions for the love of our country, one of the greatest expressions of patriotism, is to fight for the ideals of who we are, which includes freedom to make decisions about your own body, freedom to be safe from gun violence, freedom.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So what exactly does that mean? Nobody really knows. She basically just spit out the entire salad bar there. But largely, I would say, I don't want to give CNN too much credit because Kamala Harris literally does this to herself, right? CNN is trying hard, actually, to protect her, to defend her. We know that they basically do the anti-Trump campaigning for her. But when she almost to a ridiculous, comical, satirical level, does this word salad act, even CNN is sometimes going to get her for it, and it's not always even intentional. Listen as Jim Acosta tries to ask a Kamala Harris spokesperson a very simple question, and she doesn't know the answer about Kamala Harris because nobody knows. She's just full of it.
She said at one point, well, if somebody tries to break into my home, they're going to get shot. She made that comment, and then she said, well, my staff will go ahead and clean that up. You are on Kamala Harris's staff. Can you give us some more information? I'm just curious from a biographical background, what do we know about this firearm that she owns, and when did she get it?
Yeah, well, look, she has made it very clear that she staunchly supports the Second Amendment. She supports strong, responsible gun ownership, and she does own a firearm. So I don't know. I can't really comment more than that.
So she doesn't know is the answer. I get it. Maybe, it's not really something you brief your people on, but let's be real. The reason she doesn't know what kind of gun Kamala Harris has is because the whole story that she made up about that probably is not true. We've not heard this her entire life. We never heard Kamala Harris talking about owning guns. In fact, she has a long track record of being one of the most anti-gun politicians in the entire Democrat Party, and that's saying a lot. And all of a sudden, at the debate, you hear out of nowhere, whoa, I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun owner. What are you talking about? Yeah, okay, that's why we say Kamala Harris does this to herself. Jim Acosta was not trying to ask a trick question. He was not exactly trying to corner the spokesperson. But when you're Kamala Harris and you keep going out and saying things like this, it's kind of hard not to just walk into the media saying, what? And that's exactly what's going on here. That said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. Be sure to check out our friends over at rtmgold.com. And until next time, I've been Vince with Resist the Mainstream. Peace.